Affiliate Peloton, we are joined by Dr. Richard Deming, the current medical director at the Mercy One Cancer Center and the board chair for the Community Foundation Greater Des Moines. Dr. Deming is truly one of those special Iowans, and he shared with us his journey about getting connected to the Community Foundation. And what really struck me was Dr. Deming has always been a generous person, and his professional advisors knew this and thought that Dr. Deming could better integrate his charitable giving into his financial estate plans, and so connected him to the Community Foundation through a donor advised fund. What's become of this is that Dr. Deming is so much better informed about the causes that matter to him and their impact on our community. Those are things that the Community Foundation can do uniquely well in our community as well as your community. Supporting generous people and giving back to causes they care about, partnering with their professional advisor to make it part of their tax and estate plan, and better informing them on how they can make a positive impact in the community that they live and work in. So take a listen to Dr. Deming's message and think about how you can make connections to people in your community, to your local community foundation.
It's a great day to be alive. It is April, and it is just a sign that of a new beginning. It also, April is Poetry Month, and I love poetry, and I love beginning meetings with a reflection. So I'm going to start with a little reflection, and it's a poem by one of my favorite poets, Mary Oliver. And you can just picture all of the geese that have been flying north. And this is her poem called Wild Geese. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about your despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things. One of my favorite poems, and it ends reminding us that we're all interconnected, and dare I say, we are better together for all being together. So thanks. As you know, being a chair of the board is a volunteer position. And I have, over the course of the last 10 years, had the opportunity to get to know what the Community Foundation is all about. And through Joe and all of the associates, the affiliate members. And it's just amazing to me to know that we now have the opportunity of serving 46 counties and communities across the state. That collectively, our network of affiliates has facilitated over $91 million in charitable giving in the last 5 years. And nearly $40 million has been granted to nonprofits from the affiliate community foundations during this time. I want to give you a little bit of a background to how I even got connected with the Community Foundation. So it happened, probably 15 years ago, and I decided that actually somebody talked me into it, said that they realized that I was philanthropic, but that I probably hadn't done a thing to prepare for my death. So here I am, a cancer doctor, taking care of patients, seeing death, frequently, but yet, like most of us, not thinking much about it. And it took some time for me to kind of get together and start thinking about how I could be more strategic in my philanthropy. So mostly what I was doing was, well, if somebody asked for money, I gave some money. But when I sat down to think about what really matters to me, and did that align with how I was giving, I found that there was a disconnect. And so I was introduced to the concept of the donor advised fund through my wealth advisor, if you will. And from that, set up a donor advised fund and realized the importance of, having a charitable savings account and the power that it has to be able to use that during your productive lifetime and to create a savings account that allows you to give more efficiently. But then I also learned what the community foundation does and how it's different than just setting up a donor advised fund that you can do with any of the national investment folks, and how the community foundation brings people together and not-for-profits together and really helps to create this atmosphere of being better together and working and connecting. And here in Des Moines, the way the community foundation plays a vital role in the community in bringing lots of organizations together as a bridge builder and coordinator as we tackle a number of problems, whether it is health and human services, the coronavirus, whether it is homelessness, whether it is hunger, whether it is helping to promote the arts and development of all sorts of recreational activities. The Community Foundation really has served as a real facilitator and builder. Over the course of the last few years, as I've served on the board of directors, I've also tried to do my job to help spread the word of what the Community Foundation does and how it's a win-win for individuals to be able to use donor advised funds to create these charitable savings accounts. I also have had the opportunity, as I have counseled patients of mine who are looking at trying to do something in the field of philanthropy. And most people think, oh, I need to set up a 501c3. And sometimes I say, you don't have to set up your own 501c3. Maybe consider partnering with the Community Foundation to set up a donor advised fund or a specific fund with a field of interest. You can save yourself a whole lot of time and misery trying to comply with all the rules and regulations of what it means to have a 501c3. So just last year, a longtime patient of mine, as she was preparing to die of lung cancer caused by radon, knew that advancing education and mitigation around radon was something very important. And Gail Orcutt and her husband, Bill, instead of going out and setting up a 501c3, set up a fund within the foundation to accomplish what they want to accomplish in terms of helping to reduce the burden of cancer caused by radon. So I really am so pleased that I was connected to the Community Foundation as a donor advised fund, and through the last 10 years being on the board, got the opportunity to learn what the Community Foundation does in addition to being an organization of donor advised funds, and then to learn about all the affiliate program and what a wonderful opportunity for bringing people together. So that's my story, and I am here to thank you all for what you do in your communities to provide the services of Community Foundation, and what you're doing coming together in this Peloton to share your experiences, because we are all better together. Thank you, Joe. And if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Can you tell, because we work with donors, can you talk a little bit about how the Community Foundation worked with you on focusing on your passions or the things you wanted to support, kind of the process you went through?
Yeah, happy to. It actually began with my advisor, and my wealth advisor, if you will, is somebody who specializes in philanthropy. So it was really about coming, and so I took some, it almost reminded me of the Minnesota multiphasic personality survey that people do over time. And it was basically ascertaining what was important to me in life. And then we looked at my charitable giving over the previous 10 years. And basically there was no rhyme or reason to my charitable giving. There was a rhyme and reason. I would give if somebody asked me to, but I was never going out there seeking opportunities to contribute to causes that I was aligned with. If nobody asked me for money, I didn't give them any money. And out of that, my advisor helped me sort of set up a strategy for developing a will and a legacy giving, but also to start a donor advised fund, and then to be more proactive about which organizations that I wanted to give to. And then as I worked with the staff at the Community Foundation, I actually have about three, maybe more than that, donor advised funds. I've got Endow Iowa funds. I've got funds that I give under a certain name that is sort of for it's called the Richard Deming Cultivating Compassion Fund. And I use that for things related to human dignity, social justice causes. And then I also have a Dr. Richard Deming fund that I use for more medical types of things. And so not only does it allow me to focus, but even the name of the fund kind of then connects to the purpose of what I'm doing. So I've enjoyed the opportunity not only to have the the accounting and the oversight, but to be able to name the fund in a way that promotes what I actually stand for rather than just my name by itself. So that's been, I guess, two ways that I would talk about it. The other is that my final, when I die, all of my funds that are going to go to charity are all going to come to the Community Foundation. And then I have the ability through the agreement I have with the Community Foundation to decide ultimately where they go. I don't have to pay a lawyer an hour's work every time I want to change that, because there probably will be time over the next few years where, where I think things are going to go now, I might have different things that I want to fund. And it makes it very easy through the paperwork with the Community Foundation to change that, and periodically every year review it without having to go to the lawyer's office and change your will. You can just change the ultimate recipient of my charitable giving, my legacy charitable giving, with simple paperwork.
I just want to say thank you, Dr. Deming, for your leadership on the board. 15, 16 years ago, when our board of directors changed their mission statement and bylaws to start allowing partnerships with affiliates across the state, they're taking a bit of a gamble to really open up the doors to work with communities they didn't know much about. And I think that gamble has definitely paid off as we have a growing and strong network of partners across the state. So thanks for your leadership, Dr. Deming.
Thank you. Have a good meeting. Thanks.